American Idol was a game changer for both the reality television industry and the music industry from the minute it broadcast for the first time in 2002. The show, which consisted of both a talent search and a competition, became a phenomenon that was seen all over the world. As the show progressed through its early seasons, it became famous for the harsh criticisms that were directed at Simon Cowell, the arduous auditions, and the enormous pressure that was placed on participants to deliver faultless performances week after week. It was the beginning of a new era of reality television, one in which viewers became more than just observers. They became emotionally invested in the rise and collapse of young and ambitious individuals who aspired to become famous. American Idol, however, has developed throughout time, adapting to changes in popular culture, the music industry, and the way that people engage with television. This is something that happens with everything. To this day, the experience of singing on American Idol is quite dissimilar to the one that brought Carrie Underwood and a great number of other famous celebrities to the forefront of public attention. Lionel Richie, a great musical artist who has been a judge on America's Got Talent since 2018, and Carrie, who catapulted to stardom as the winner of Season 4 in 2005, both remark on how the program has changed over the years and how it continues to affect the future of the music industry. The formative years, the critical capacity of criticism. When Carrie Underwood tried out for the American Idol competition, she was only a young girl from Chicota, Oklahoma, who came from a little town. She rapidly became a household star in front of millions of spectators, while the judges with her powerful voice, and becoming the first country singer to win the competition. She was the first country artist to win the competition. Carrie's experience was nonetheless affected by the ruthless honesty of Simon Cowell, despite the fact that her time on the show did not contain the kind of severe criticism that many of the contestants were subjected to because of their participation. Carrie reflects on the fact that Simon was the voice of American Idol during that particular period. If he did not like you, it could be the end of the relationship, as you were aware. The thought that came to my mind was, oh my God, if I don't impress him, I'm already done. There was a lot of pressure to be perfect and to get Simon's approval because he was considered to be the judge who could either make or break you. In spite of the fact that it frequently caused heated disputes, Simon's cutting and no-nonsense criticism was definitely a significant element of the show's appeal. While Paula Abdul and Randy Jackson played the more upbeat and encouraging parts, he was the person who played the role of the evil cop and provided the sting. Despite the fact that the early seasons of American Idol were marked by harsh criticism, tears, and drama, they also produced moments of television magic that cannot be denied. Carrie goes on to say, "It was very intense. This was not a matter of sugarcoating. You brought it with you, or you did not bring it. However, the event provided us with the chance to demonstrate our worth and to create something of ourselves, despite the fact that it was accompanied by a significant amount of criticism." Lionel Richie, a musical hero who has gained legendary status with a career that spans decades, was able to personally experience the impact of Simon's brutal criticisms, but he was also aware of the limitations of such criticisms. Lionel, who had spent decades working in the music industry, became a judge on American Idol in 2018, bringing a new and fresh kind of enthusiasm to the panel of judges. In his words, "There is a fine line between being too harsh and being tough love," Lionel emphasizes. "Despite the fact that I recognize the need of providing constructive criticism, I also feel that encouragement plays a significant part in the development of an artist. The goal is not only to point out people's shortcomings, rather, it is to encourage them and assist them in discovering their own voice." Shifting the focus from criticism to encouragement is the beginning of a new era. By the time Lionel joined the show, American Idol had already undergone a number of dramatic adjustments. The format of the show had changed, and the judges on the panel represented a shift in the ideals that they held. In the earlier seasons, the scathing criticisms were the show's bread and butter. However, as viewers became more aware of the emotional toll that the competition took on the candidates, there was a growing desire for a more supportive and kinder environment. According to Lionel, the way we think about talent has changed along with the times, which is an explanation. As of right now, the world that we live in is different. Everyone has become an instant critic as a result of social media, which can be challenging for younger people. As a result, whenever I am seated at the table of judges, I make it a point to first highlight the positive aspects, and then I offer counsel that is helpful. The challenge is in striking a balance between being truthful and being encouraging. Carrie feels the same way, pointing out that the show has developed its approach to criticism over time. My opinion is that the show's dynamic has shifted in some way. When I was competing on American Idol, everything revolved around what the judges thought, and the criticisms were often brutal. However, at this point, the emphasis is placed on providing the candidates with guidance and mentoring as they travel through their trip. Whether they are victorious or not, it is more important to provide them with the resources necessary to achieve success than it is to bring them down. A particularly striking example of this shift in tone is the manner in which the judges engage with the contestants during the audition process. The judges of today have a tendency to treat comments with more sensitivity, urging aspirants to keep pushing forward even if they are not quite ready for prime time. This is in contrast to the traditional practice of instantly eliminating those who fall short after receiving input. The days of the early seasons, when candidates were frequently sent home with little more than a quick comment and a handshake, are a long cry from the days of the competition, when there was no nonsense involved. The mental health of the competitors is equally as essential to Carrie and Lionel as their vocal ability, and they both place equal importance on both of these factors. It is important to note that Lionel is emphasizing that we are not just looking for the next superstar. We are looking for artists who have something to say and something to offer. Therefore, it is imperative that we provide them with support, particularly when they are just beginning their journey. In the music industry, the landscape is constantly shifting. Possibly one of the most significant changes that has occurred in the environment of American Idol is the gradual transformation that has taken place inside the music industry itself. Beginning in the early 2000s, the path to become a recording artist was far more straightforward. A record deal, a career, and the opportunity to win American Idol are all possibilities for contestants. Nevertheless, the road to success is less clearly defined in today's world. A significant transformation has taken place in the manner in which new musicians enter the industry as a result of the proliferation of social media, streaming platforms, and online communities. This shift is something that Carrie, who has witnessed the proliferation of digital media throughout her career, is aware of. The social media platforms Twitter and Instagram did not exist when I won American Idol. On a daily level, there was no approach that allowed for direct communication with the fans. At this point in time, the candidates have access to a whole new world of opportunities that were unavailable to us all those years ago. It is thrilling, but at the same time, it is overwhelming. They need to learn how to deal with the strain that comes with being in the public spotlight, and that is a significant part of what we are there to assist them with at the moment. Lionel continues by saying, persons who haven't even released an album yet have become celebrities thanks to social media. Before they even take the stage at American Idol, there are musicians who have already built up their fan bases on social media platforms such as TikTok. The rules of the game have been altered. However, after everything is said and done, talent is still the victor. These contenders must remember that the most important thing is to remain true to who they are, regardless of how the world around them changes. Preparing the next generation through mentorship and legacy relationships. At its foundation, American Idol continues to serve as a platform for uncovering undiscovered talent. Nevertheless, the landscape is always shifting and changing. The show has taken on a more mentoring function, assisting competitors in preparing for the stresses and expectations of the modern music industry. Previous seasons of the show were mostly focused on competition, but the current season has taken on a more mentoring role. In terms of her role in the legacy of the show, Carrie finds that being a mentor is one of the most satisfying aspects of her work. When I was competing on American Idol, I recall that I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It was a tremendous amount. It gives me great pleasure to be in a position to provide some direction to these contenders at this moment, to tell them that it is acceptable to feel anxious. If you fail, that's okay. The way in which you pick yourself up and continue on is what really matters. Along with other artists, Lionel sees his duty as that of a mentor to the artists of the future. According to what he says, we are passing the baton to the new generation. It is our responsibility to instill in them the self-assurance to take the spotlight, even when it is terrifying, and to assist them in the development of the talents necessary to thrive in a field that can be exceptionally challenging. Final reflections. The inevitable legacy of the American Idol competition. One thing is abundantly obvious despite the fact that American Idol is continuously undergoing changes. The core of the show has not changed. An environment in which aspirations are realized and sometimes broken, but always with the potential for greatness, it is a platform for identifying and fostering talent. It is a space where dreams are realized. My big break came from American Idol, Carrie says, her voice brimming with gratitude as she reflected on the experience. I had the opportunity to demonstrate my worth, and it opened avenues that I had never even considered before. Although it is incredible to consider how much it has evolved, the core of the program, which is the method in which it assists individuals in discovering their own voices, will continue to be the same. This idea is echoed by Lionel Richie, who says, "At the end of the day, we're here to create stars, but more importantly, we're here to help people find their true selves. It is a legacy that I am glad to be a part of, and that is the legacy that American Idol has left behind." American Idol continues to be a timeless light for discovering the next generation of singers, with Carrie Underwood and Lionel Richie leading the charge as mentors and guides in this new era. This is despite the fact that the world of music is always changing.